So it's you and Todd Simpson are probably the two best practical jokers in Coyotes history. But as Petey pointed out earlier, you're a much nicer guy than Todd Simpson. I'm not sure that's true on all
I didn't
days.
say it like that because I know Todd's listening because he listens to our show, I'm sure, every day.
Yeah.
Todd's pranks maybe went a little bit further and they were maybe a little more malicious. That's what I meant.
Yeah. How can I say that? Todd's a good friend of mine. I see him every summer. The sneak powder one was one he got from me. And my dad showed me that one back in junior.
So we got to tell people this because this to the day, Stan Wilson is still mad about this. Like the equipment manager, longtime equipment manager, nicest guy in the world, still mad at Todd Simpson for this. And I am not kidding.
No.
Pissed.
It's because he just didn't understand how little of the stuff that you need to use. And those you don't know what it is, it's just, I think police use it. It's a sneak powder to catch people who are maybe stealing from, within.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is just kind of an invisible dust that you get on it. Once it gets wet, it activates it and it turns bright purple. And then you can't wash it off. It takes about a week to come off, or you have to soak it in bleach, or it takes a long time. So I did it in Florida. It was our last practice of the day. We were missing the playoffs. We're at the practice rink. My dad already told me how much to use. I got there early and I put it just in people's socks, in their foot socks. And except Rob Niedermeyer, I did his whole bag. And just because.
That's awful.
So we get on the ice, and I got to tell you, it's the one practice I really could not practice. I was laughing so freaking hard because guys get in their hand and they start sweating, and they're looking at their fingers, and their fingers are blue and purple, and like, what the hell's that? And then I saw a couple guys with a streak across the forehead where they accidentally wiped it, and I'm dying laughing. And Rob Niedermeyer goes, "Look at my hands." Like, he goes, "What kind of gloves?" I said, "Well, this is that. I got these new Easton too. Mine leak a little bit of ink too, like a little color. Mine did. I soaked them in water for a couple days first, and off he goes, and I was done. So anyway, practice is over. I leave, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here quickly because they're gonna know. So I don't even shower. I just put my stuff on. And for some reason, the last practice of the year, I guess nobody wanted to stay out there for extra because guys started coming in. And Alex Hicks, who's now the assistant coach at ASU, he was one of the guys. He lived in my neighborhood. He takes off his skates, and his white socks are just bright purple. He's like, "What the frick is this?" And then I see him at home later. I get out of there before the guys come up. He tells me to come over, and I go to his house. And everybody wears sandals, right? Because it's in Florida in April, or beginning of April. So there's fans waiting. These guys walk out, Barney purple feet, except Rob Niedermeyer. He was purple from head to toe.
No.
And so, what are the people going to do? We play a game the next day. That's it.
Yeah.
No more. So I got away with one there, and I was blaming Dino Cicerelli because he wasn't playing at the time, and he had come back to around the team because the season's about to end. So I was blaming him, and people were actually thinking, well, that could be it. And then I went to the World Championships, and when I got to the World Championships, I opened up my bag, and I had about 4 or 5 rolls of tape around my skates that were just. It took the trainers some time to get that through, but they knew. But that, if that's all, I got them pretty good. It was good. But anyway, Todd took it too far, put it in everywhere, and it got over the main locker room. Ruined jerseys, ruined gloves, ruined pants, ruined carpet. To Todd's credit, Stan said he had the money there the next day in cash to pay for it all, but just didn't know. Oh yeah, it was a good bill.
It was funny though. I think he left one player out to dry. I forgot who he didn't put stuff in. Was Ossie Vananen there then?
He was
I don't remember who it was. He left somebody out to dry and didn't do that player.
No,
he did himself a little bit.
Or was it Donor?
It might have been Donor.
I think he tried to set
Donor.
Donor.
It might have been Donor.
Singing Don't,
Gave himself a little bit on his fingers, but gave Donor none.
And then, I think, and then he got Donor a little while later. He put it just in his jock strap.
Oh no!
So he was
purple.
He was purple.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You were doing stuff even after you were away from the team, weren't you? Sneaking into the ice den, putting like water bottles in Donor's gloves and things like that. Open water bottles.
This was 2 years after I retired. The guys had a nice little run going, and that was Hansel was still here, and those guys. So they'd won 4 or 5 in a row. They were doing really good. So I got into the. I had a card to the room. Stanley gave me a card to get in there, and if I needed tape or something for Hudson, I get his laces or whatever. So I went in there, and all the guys I knew. In fact, even the ones I didn't know. I I squeezed all their helmets, made it small. Feel like their heads are too big. Hey, you guys won 4 in a row. You guys, your heads are so everyone that went to put their helmet on, none of them fit. None of them fit. Like, what the hell's going on? And Donor always being the last one to get dressed or come on ice. So the whole room's in there, and Donor goes in there. He grabs his shin pad from up top, and I had a cup of water. I had water in both of them, and he pulls it down, and his cup of water just splashes all over him. And he looks, and guys, or some young guys, I remember Max Domi being the guy who goes, "Oh no, somebody got Donor. He's gonna be so mad." And Donor, obviously never swearing, frickin' wits. He goes, and then Domi goes, "Wits? Who?" He goes, "Frickin' wizard. He did it." He goes, "That guy's been gone for 2 years, retired for 2 years, and that's the first guy you go to?" And he goes, "I guarantee it was him." And then they all start putting their helmets on. They're like, "Oh, he got all of us."
Unreal.
And it was a small thing. It didn't take all it takes is just pop your the wings on the helmet, open it again. But
enough.
It was harmless. Yeah,
Remind you're there.
And then Donor, I cut his laces all the time, but realizing it actually wasn't punishing him; it was punishing
trainers.
Tony.
Yeah,
Tony had to relace his skates all the time for him. But I always like doing stuff like that. The harmless little things that somebody just tapes their sticks for practice and they'll put them right in the doorway on the way out. Well, I'd take them and I'd go hide them and put them somewhere else. So they go out for practice and they can't find their sticks. And it's just it's nothing, but it's funny when you're sitting down there watching it. Watching a guy look for his sticks when he has no clue is actually a lot of fun.